Welcome back to my YouTube channel LC Coins World, and today we will be diving deep into the full professional history of the 1980 Lincoln penny, a coin that holds a unique place in United States numismatic history. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, making it the longest-running design in U.S. coinage history, and the 1980 issue represents a fascinating chapter within that legacy, both in terms of design, composition, minting changes, and the larger economic and cultural context of its time. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, and the first historical figure to appear on a regular issue U.S. coin designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse portrait of Lincoln has remained largely unchanged since its introduction and continues to be a symbol of American integrity, leadership, and unity. By 1980, the Lincoln cent had already undergone several major transitions, including the introduction of the wheat reverse design from 1909 to 1958. And then the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, which began in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. The 1980 Lincoln penny continues the tradition of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, which features a detailed rendering of the monument located in Washington, D.C. Designed by Frank Gasparro, this reverse served both a symbolic and practical function. It honored the legacy of Lincoln while providing a modern update to the coin's imagery. In this design, if you look closely, you can even see the statue of Lincoln visible between the columns of the memorial, an exceptional detail that showcases the mint's craftsmanship. From a technical standpoint, the 1980 Lincoln cent was produced at three main mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins bear no mint mark, while the Denver coins carry a D mark, and the San Francisco coins bear an S mint mark, which were mostly used for proof sets. The coin is composed primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a composition that had remained consistent since the early 1960s prior to 1982, when the mint would switch to a primarily zinc core due to rising copper prices. The weight of the 1980 penny is approximately 3.11 grams, and it has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters with a plain edge. This makes the 1980 issue one of the last to be struck entirely from the traditional bronze composition before the full transition to copper-plated zinc coins in 1982. This transition was significant not only for numismatists, but also for the economy, as the rising cost of copper meant the intrinsic value of the coin was approaching or exceeding its face value, a problem for circulating coinage. The 1980 Lincoln cent was minted in massive quantities, with over 7 billion coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint alone, making it one of the most abundant issues of the era. However, that does not diminish its historical importance or collector interest, because within this massive mintage are numerous minor varieties, die errors, and condition rarities that continue to capture the attention of coin collectors across the country and around the world. Some of these errors include off-center strikes, double dies, and misaligned dies, all of which can carry premiums depending on their clarity and uniqueness. Economically, the late 1970s and early 1980s were a period of inflation and changing metal values, which placed pressure on the U.S. Mint to find more cost-effective ways to produce coinage. The 1980 penny represents a period just before this transformation, making it historically important as one of the final years where coins were still struck in the traditional copper-rich alloy. Many collectors seek 1980 pennies in high grade, especially those that have been preserved in uncirculated rolls or found in original mint sets. From a cultural standpoint, the Lincoln penny has served as a constant reminder of American ideals. It has passed through countless hands, witnessed significant moments in history, and been part of everyday transactions for generations. The 1980 coin specifically captures a moment just before the technology and economic priorities of the modern mint began to reshape how coins were designed, produced, and distributed. It is a coin that links the classic era of heavy metal coins with the emerging world of cost-optimized modern minting. The San Francisco proof coins of 1980 are of particular interest to collectors and are found only in proof sets. These coins were struck with specially prepared dies on polished blanks, giving them a mirror-like surface and frosted. As we move deeper into this 2-hour exploration, we will analyze the production techniques used at each mint, the quality control processes, and how these factors contributed to the appearance of various mint eras. We will discuss notable auctions where 1980 pennies in high grade have brought surprising prices and look at how demand for this issue continues to evolve in the coin market today. We will also explore how the 1980 penny fits into date runs, Lincoln Memorial Cent collections, and registry sets. The Lincoln Cent series remains one of the most collected in all of numismatics, and the 1980 issue is an essential part of that story. Whether you are assembling a full collection of memorial cents or just beginning your journey into coin collecting, understanding the 1980. So stay tuned as we take a comprehensive look at everything there is to know about the 1980 Lincoln penny, from design history and metal content to varieties, proof issues, grading, population, and collector trends. This video will be your complete guide and source of historical depth, only here on LC Coins World. Today, we are going to explore the long, detailed, professional history of the 1986 Lincoln penny, a fascinating chapter in American numismatics that represents more than just a small denomination coin. It carries the legacy of the Lincoln Cent series. It reflects the economic transitions of the 1980s. It marks the technological and material shifts at the U.S. Mint, and it serves as a symbol of a nation steadily advancing into the modern age of coinage. The story of the 1986 Lincoln penny begins with its place in the ongoing series of Lincoln Cents, which were first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Victor David Brenner was the original designer of the Lincoln Cent, and his profile of President Lincoln was the first time a historical American figure appeared on a regularly circulating United States coin. The obverse of the coin features Lincoln's right-facing portrait, while the reverse from 1959 to 2008 depicted the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., designed by Frank Gasparo. The Lincoln Memorial reverse added a new layer of symbolism to the coin, showing not only Lincoln's portrait but also the monument built to honor him, and interestingly, the reverse includes a tiny rendering of Lincoln's seated statue, visible, a key point in its production history. Prior to mid-1982, the Lincoln penny was minted using an alloy composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, due to rising copper prices, which made the cost of production exceed the face value of the coin, the U.S. Mint switched to a predominantly zinc composition with a thin copper plating. Beginning in 1980 to the 1986 penny was therefore struck using the new composition, which consisted of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. The core of zinc meant a significantly lighter coin at approximately 2.5 grams compared to the earlier bronze cents, which weighed about 3.11 grams. The Denver Mint produced the 1986 Lincoln penny as indicated by the small D mint mark located just below the date on the obverse side of the coin. This mint mark signifies that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, located in Colorado. The Denver Mint has played a critical role in U.S. coin production since the early 1900s, and by 1986 it was one of the most technologically advanced mints in the world producing billions of coins each year, including the Lincoln cent. The total mintage of the 1980 60 penny was over 4.1 billion coins, making it one of the most abundant issues of the decade. However, quantity does not always mean lack of value, as we will see later in our analysis of condition, rarity, die varieties, and mint errors. From a visual standpoint, the 1986 D carry the classic design that Americans had become so on a small copper-plated zinc disc. The 1980s were an era of both economic recovery and transition for the United States. The early years of the decade saw high inflation and unemployment, but by the mid-1980s the economy had stabilized and consumer confidence had returned. As a result, the demand for circulating coinage remained strong, and the mint responded by producing billions of coins annually. The Lincoln penny remained essential for everyday transactions, even though inflation continued to erode its purchasing power. The continued use of the 1-cent coin during this time is a topic of debate among economists and collectors alike, but for numismatists, every year represents a unique point in the long continuum of minting history. Collectors who specialize in modern Lincoln cents often look beyond basic date and mint mark combinations and instead focus on condition, variety, and errors. The 1986 D penny offers several such opportunities for collectors. While most examples are common in circulated grades, those that are found in mint state, particularly in MS 66 or higher with full original luster and no contact marks, are more difficult to locate and therefore carry a premium at auction. One area of great interest is the discovery of die varieties. These can include doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and other anomalies created during the minting process, although not as well known as other dates. The 1986 D penny has been reported with minor die cracks, die chips, and plating blisters, all of which can increase collector interest depending on severity and visibility. The transition to copper-plated zinc brought new challenges to the mint's quality control system. Zinc is a softer metal than copper, and the copper plating on these cents is extremely thin, meaning that planchet flaws, plating bubbles, and corrosion are more common in these coins than in earlier issues. Collectors seeking high-grade examples of 1986 D Lincoln cents must pay particular attention to the surfaces of the coin, checking for signs of environmental damage, flaking, or discoloration. In addition to individual coin collecting, the 1986 D penny fits into several registry sets, including the complete Lincoln Memorial Cent series and modern penny date sets. Its abundance in the marketplace makes it accessible for beginners, but its conditional rarity at the highest grades makes it a challenge for advanced collectors. Grading services such as PCGS and NGC have certified thousands of examples, but only a small percentage achieve the highest gem grades, which can significantly boost their market value. As we move further into this 2-hour exploration, we will examine the broader historical context of 1986. As we move further into this 2-hour exploration, we will examine the broader historical context of 1986, including the political and economic landscape, how technology was shaping U.S. mint production, and how the role of coinage was evolving in American society. We will look at the Denver Mint's history, its output and quality standards, and how coins like the 1986 D Lincoln penny are part of that enduring legacy. We will discuss coin storage, handling, grading, and preservation strategies for collectors who want to maintain the value of their copper-plated zinc coins over time. We will also take a closer look at auction data, population reports, and market trends to see how the 1986 D penny fits into the larger numismatic scene today. We will compare it to earlier bronze cents and later shield design cents that began in 2010, and we will analyze how the Lincoln Cents' design and purpose have changed over more than a century, while remaining a constant fixture in American commerce. So stay with us as we go in depth on the 1986 Lincoln penny, its minting, its composition, its varieties, its collecting potential, and its place in the American story. This is LC Coins World, your home for coin history, collecting knowledge, and the timeless fascination of United States coinage, past and present. 67. Lincoln penny with the. Today we are exploring the powerful story of the 1967 Lincoln penny, one of the most intriguing coins in the modern history of United States coinage. This 1-cent coin might look simple at first glance, but it carries with it a deep and rich narrative of economic reform, political decisions, mint experimentation, and numismatic mystery. The 1967 penny represents a pivotal moment in American coin production and has become extremely rare in certain conditions and varieties, which has elevated its importance for collectors, investors, and historians alike. The 1967 Lincoln cent was minted during a time of major transition within the United States, mint due to widespread concerns about coin shortages, hoarding, and changes in metallic content. In the mid-1960s, the United States government undertook a major reform of its coinage system following the Coinage Act of 1965, which eliminated silver from the dime and quarter and reduced silver content in the half dollar. This was a result of rising silver prices and increasing public speculation, which had caused people to pull coins from circulation. The mint needed to modernize and stabilize production to meet the demand for coins, and the 1967 Lincoln penny was one of the outcomes of this turbulent and transformative period. One of the most notable features of the 1967 penny is its lack of a mint mark. This was a deliberate decision by the U.S. Mint to discourage coin hoarding. The logic was that by removing the mint mark from coins, collectors and the public would no longer seek out coins from specific mints, thereby reducing the incentive to pull new coins from circulation. The result was that all 1967 pennies, regardless of whether they were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, bore no mint mark, which makes identifying their origin a unique challenge for collectors today. This also makes them historically significant as part of a 3-year experiment between 1965 and 1967, when mint marks were completely omitted from all circulating coinage. The 1967 Lincoln penny was struck on plankets made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which was the standard composition. At the time, the design itself remained unchanged, with the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right on the obverse, created by Victor David Brenner, a design first introduced in 1909. To commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth, the reverse featured the Lincoln Memorial, which had been introduced in 1959, marking the sesquicentennial of Lincoln's birth, replacing the previous wheat ears design and reinforcing national identity through architectural symbolism. While over 1 billion Lincoln cents were struck in 1967, making it appear as an ordinary coin, the reality is far more nuanced. Some of the coins from this year have become extremely rare due to minting errors, off-metal strikes, die varieties, and high-grade mint state. Examples with full original luster collectors have reported double dies, off-center strikes, and other anomalies. The other anomalies that can dramatically increase the value of this coin in some cases. Rare era coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction, especially when certified by reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC. Throughout this 2-hour video, we will journey through the socio-economic factors that shaped the mint's production decisions in the 1960s. We will explore how the removal of mint marks impacted coin collecting at the time and what legacy that decision left for modern numismatists. We will examine how the Mint handled the logistics of striking billions of coins across multiple facilities under strict policy constraints and how that impacted quality control, resulting in the rare era varieties we find today. We will also explore the major auction sales involving the 1967 Lincoln penny and what makes certain specimens stand out in the eyes of professional graders and collectors. We will show you how to examine your own 1967 penny for signs of doubling, die cracks, off-center strikes, and other unusual characteristics that could mean you are holding an extremely rare piece of American history without even knowing it. Whether you are a new collector just learning the ropes, or a seasoned numismatist looking to deepen your understanding of this overlooked yet important coin, the story of the 1967 Lincoln penny offers rich insight into the intersection of money, politics, industry, and art. So sit back and get ready for an in-depth exploration into the incredible journey of this fascinating 1-cent piece, only here on LC Coin. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, LC Coins World, and today we will be diving deep into the full professional history of the 1980 Lincoln penny, a coin that holds a unique place in United States numismatic